Welcome to the Women Living Well After 50 podcast. I'm Sulon Carrick and I'm passionate about inspiring, motivating, supporting and informing women over 50 to embrace this exciting time of life. Health and wellness in mind, body and spirit are the foundations for living well, but there is so much more to a life well lived. Each week, through conversations with my guests, I'll be presenting topics that will help us all to live well and enjoy life. So join me as we discover new ways to become women living well after 50. Are you ready to start living? What are you waiting for? Let's get started. Thanks for joining me for another conversation with Women Living Well After 50, the podcast. Releasing emotional blocks and emotional wounds that we've carried throughout our life is an issue that many of us face. Letting go of those limiting beliefs, letting go of experiences from the past. My guest today is Kuve Jansky Bradley from Guiding Energy Meditation. Now, Kuve's journey with energy began in her mid-20s and she's expanded for over 30 years in a passion and experience in the field that draws you in as soon as you meet her. Kuve does work in a unique and innovative way and incorporates a variety of different modalities specializing in the emotion code. She has a holistic approach to her work and is very powerful with dealing with sensitive issues. Experiences have led her to be approached by many professional people in the industry. Her warm smile, loving approach is heartwarming, and she is truly a unique healer, teacher, and facilitator. She is experienced in guided meditation, hypnotherapy, and many other forms of holistic health. So let's go and join the conversation. Welcome, Kuve. It's lovely to finally meet you and to have you join me today in conversation.
Thank you. And it's an honor to be here with you today. Thank you very much for taking the time to welcome me and for me to be able to share with your listeners that, there's many ways of helping people along the way to help their lives and to have a lovely, healthy lifestyle.
That's right. And that's what I want to talk to you today, because you're a holistic healer and you have different modalities that you use in your work. So I want to go back to the beginning and I want to talk to you about you're in your 20s and you're introduced to energy, and that started you on the journey to where you are now. So if you could just tell us a little bit about how it all started and how you came to the role that you're in now.
It was one of those things, you get invited to an event, didn't know anything about energy. I first of all started, working with crystals. I started working with pendulums. I started working with, connecting to energy, which then got me really interested. I've done a couple of courses. Then sort of late 80s, everybody was talking about Reiki. And so that really got me interested. And I ended up moving and living in the US, in San Francisco, in the Bay Area. And I was introduced to a whole heap of women, amazing healers. And I just went, oh my God, I've got to do this. It's something within you that you need to follow. And so I did. I became a Reiki master over a 5-year period because it takes that long. And then I was introduced to Seishim, which is the feminine aspect. You've got Reiki is masculine, feminine is the Seishim, which is the Isis. So the combination of the two brings perfect balance in the body. Then, so I was able to actually practice Reiki in the US at that time. So that was really interesting. And and the more you do it, the better you become. And it's just like a hunger to learn more and more and more. And I was able to do a lot more other courses. And that just evolved and, roll forward, I should say. to today. And I was introduced to a modality called the emotion code. It's not a very familiar modality. Not many people know about it, but it's one of the most gentle and loving way to release and to let go of our baggage. Because, you know, we all have baggage. We all have stuff that we've lived through. We've all had a life that every single person has been affected in one way or another. And unless we face it, and unless we start working with emotional intelligence without, you know, with actually facing the fact that we need to heal ourselves, because popping a pill is so short-lived. And it really isn't until you get in touch with the core of the being of the person and find out where that trauma is from, where did it originate from, then release it, then you're letting it go from the body. And emotion code hones into the core of the problem, the core of what is happening and where it originated.
Yes, because many of us, well, as you say, most of us have baggage, and a lot of us just push it down, keep pushing it down, and we never address the issue. And of course, then it does affect us physically in many ways, because we're not addressing the core, as you say, of the problem. And taking medication and things like that might help for a while, but that problem is still there, isn't it? So, you know, it's just an ongoing situation. And it is difficult, I would think, for people to open up about those sort of deep-seated emotional experiences that they've had. So how do you get people to talk about, you know, or trying to get to the core of their problem?
A lot of people seek me because they might have read the book, The Emotion Code. They might have heard of Dr. Bradley Nelson. They have been looking for a while and trying to figure out how they can help themselves. I've had clients who've actually been seeing psychiatrists, psychologists for years and have never been able to achieve the results that they've achieved with me after working with me for over a year. And, you know, they all have their place. Every single modality has its place. But when the person is ready to really heal that inner child, that little person that got hurt, or you know, whether it got smacked or whether it got hurt or whether it got left somewhere, or it's all within us. Unless we heal that, then it keeps coming back in different forms. And as you said before, disease, it's the dis-ease of the body. And we're now discovering, and there's a lot of proven studies that are going on and have been going on, that our body is an energy. And unless the energy within our body is in balance, then different aspects of our body stops talking to each other. It's like having our, how would I say it? For example, you would use blood. If the blood is not flowing at its optimum through our physical body, then somewhere along the way, it's going to create challenges. It's going to create problems. So when we have our body in balance, emotionally, physically, on all aspects, then we can live a much healthier life. Because, you know, our lifespan is now, I mean, I'm now 60, well, will be 62 in another month, but my physical being doesn't feel that. So we're going to be living a lot longer than our parents or sometimes, our grandparents. So when we can resolve those imbalances and let go of all those things that we're still carrying, and we can, our body can function, it can heal itself, and that's what it's about. Our body has the ability to heal itself. I just know how to help the body, how to communicate with it, how to let go of all those blockages, how to release the energetic blocks that we have in our body for us to be able to live a much easier, healthier life. And when our time comes, we just lie down, go to sleep, and then we go without having to be in that pain, without having to be in the trauma, without having to take tablets.
Because there definitely is a connection between your mind and your body and your spirit, isn't there? Because and so if one is out of sync or is just not working effectively, it affects the other part. So it is important to get that holistic health going. And I noticed that your website also says that it can work you work with animals as well.
Oh, absolutely. Because animals are traumatized.
Yes.
A lot of people say, oh, my dog is this and my cat is that. But it's not that there's anything wrong with them physically, but they are emotionally traumatized. From a lot of them are doing with anxiety because, they're on their own all day. So they go into anxiety. And when you can release that animal is a much happier animal as well.
And I mean, to many of us, animals are just part of the family as well, aren't they? So
yes.
you want their best interests at heart.
Yes, absolutely.
I'd expect that, you would really have to have an open mind approaching the work that you do or that others in a similar profession do. There's a lot of people out there that still have this, I'm going down the traditional medicine path. So I'm sure that, for your work to be effective, you would need people to be open to new experiences and new forms of treatment, for want of a better word. So how do you start with a client? Do you just sit down, have a conversation with them first, explain what it's about and take it from there? Yeah.
Definitely. Absolutely. We have a chat. Now, if someone doesn't know anything about energy, it's very difficult to talk to them because they're really shut and they're not open to think outside the square. But majority, I would say, over 90%, all my clients that come and seek me have heard about energy, have, tried other avenues, have gone and done other modalities and found that it is, it worked to a level, it did its thing. However, months down the track, they've never really got to the core. And look, when I started and I worked with Reiki, I absolutely love Reiki. I use it all the time. That's why I'm 95 and I look this good, because Reiki just, flows through our veins, and I just absolutely love working with it. However, it only works on really giving the body the ability to just enhance a little bit of the healing. It's very good for calming. It's very good for honing in on a particular spot on the body that is in need of healing. Like, for example, I had a gentleman who used to come to me because he had really bad knees from sport. So I would just give him Reiki in that area to enhance the blood flow and the energy. And it helped him to soothe the pain. Whereas with the emotion code, and I call the emotion code like Reiki on steroids, because I'm able to hone on the problem. I'm able to talk and find out from the subconscious mind where it originated, whether it was yours or whether you inherited from your parents. Because people don't realize that we inherit a lot of our stuff in the DNA. We inherit our parents' eyes. You know, I look more like my dad, whereas my brother looked more like my mum. So same thing with emotions. If they have a trauma, we inherited in the DNA, and we don't even realize that certain emotions, certain traumas, certain effects, and certain things that we do in life, we go, what's wrong with me? Why is it, blah, 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 me. But when we start tapping into the subconscious mind and we start communicating with it, it's all inherited, getting it from parents' side and getting it from your mum's side. And we're able to go, okay, so we release it. We release it from the physical body by using a magnet and running it down the governing meridian. Or I use my fingers. If I do, 99% of my sessions are done on Skype, Facebook now, Zoom now, because we all have Zooms. It's fabulous. And we release the emotions because energy works. Whether I'm here, you're there, or whether my clients are in America or Europe, it works. Once you are able to release that emotion from a particular timeline, then you're actually releasing it from everyone. And if you have children, then you can release that emotion from your child. So you're actually helping a whole generation of people, stopping a trauma, stopping depression. You stop and you actually deal with it without passing it on.
Well, that's important, isn't it? I didn't realize that about, the philosophy about it being in our DNA. But, a lot of things also happen in our life that, happen as a child and from experiences that we've had. And we can carry on those limiting beliefs throughout our life. And I know that, that can really hold us back. And many people don't seem to address it until they come to perhaps our age group and they've got time to think about it. But I sort of think, the earlier that we can overcome those limiting beliefs, the earlier we can really start living a more authentic life and achieving what we want to achieve in life.
Well, I've been very blessed over the last probably 3 years. A lot of people that are coming to see me are coming to see me for their children. And I've had everything from a 2-year-old up to about a 15-year-old. And the beauty of this work, they don't have to see me. All I need is a photograph looking straight at me, against the white wall, so I can connect to that child and I'll work what's going on. And we through different symptoms, I've had everything from can't get rid of a dummy, scared of the dark, eating disorders, teething problems, is just so many things, and fear and anxiety, and hyperactivity. And when you tap into that child, the amazing things that come through, I could never imagine it. My imagination's pretty good, but what comes through from that child is just wow. I've just completed sessions last week on 2 sisters, and totally different issues, totally different experiences, totally different timelines, and totally different. It just was surprising, thinking, maybe they're sisters, so they might have no, it was so different. I was just like, oh my God, this is just amazing. And, you know, the parents can see the value because their grandmother came to see me. So she said, look, you know, my daughter's girls, I just want them to have a better life than I did. I want to be able to give them something. And we did, you know, we only average is about 2-3 sessions on each child, and you're releasing whatever was going on. And they just respond a lot quicker.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's, you know, and there's no barriers because they come from pure love.
Yeah, they don't have any filters, do they? Whereas
no, they don't.
Yeah.
No, I've discovered that. Yes, I have discovered that.
Yeah. I was going to say that or ask you how difficult it is for someone perhaps later in life to do this sort of work with you. Are we too set in our ways, or, you know, are we able to change?
Everybody can change. It's just a decision to change. It's just a decision. What you've had, you don't like anymore, and you want to move in that direction. I mean, I'm the same too. I do the work, and I work on me. I continuously work on myself all the time. And I always have someone else, depending on what's going on, what I need. But I find that a lot more, and I think men are never allowed to feel. They're always like, oh no, you can't cry. You know, you can't feel this. So there's less men, but slowly but surely, a lot more men are understanding that they need to work on what's going on with them. Why are they so, you know, so rigid? Why can't they be a little bit more this way? Or why am I not so affectionate to my wife? What's happening? I've even had, you know, a lot of the men are coming to me for financial challenges. They're going, you know, why am I financially unstable? And so, but the more mature I find, clients are coming to me because they want to change. They've had enough. I think, you know, when we come to our mature years, we've got, no, that's it. I want to do something about it, and I want to do it now. Whereas when we're younger, you're like, oh yeah, whatever.
Yeah. But that's right. You're starting to realise that there is a finite line, a timeline there, and it's sort of getting closer. And you really do want to make those changes before it's too late. I get a lot of women who are coming up to retirement and they're not sure what they're going to do after they leave work, or the kids have left, the empty nesters. It can be a very difficult time to adjust. And I just wonder if your sort of work with the emotion code would help with those people who are finding it difficult to transition into a different phase of life.
Well, it all comes down to anxiety, worthiness, being a mum. You know, you're supposed to be this. Oh, no, you can't be that, because, you know, this is what the stereotype is. You know, you're supposed to fit into that box. Oh, and you can't do this and you can't. So absolutely, because it releases them from the blockages. It releases them from the perception. It releases them from the opinions of others that have on them, which is, I find a lot of people are going, oh no, but what would they say? And I'm like, well, ask yourself one question. Who pays your bills? Who lives your life? And then they sort of start thinking, oh yeah, I didn't think of it that way. You know, has that person walked in your shoes? Because none of us can understand what it's like for someone else. All we can do is show them that there's an opportunity, show them that there's another way, show them that they can help themselves if that is their choice.
And it does come down to choice, doesn't it? But you talk about, you know, the expectations and stereotypes, and that was actually a subject of one of the podcast a couple of weeks ago with someone who you know, Maria Paterakis.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yes. And we were talking about the expectations and stereotypes of retirement, and,
Yes.
you know, that people fall in, you know, put themselves in a box and they don't feel comfortable in that box. And I think that it's so important to be able to express yourself and what you really want in life. I think that people also suppress a lot of things and say, well, this is my lot, there's not much I can do about it, when in actual fact, you know, as you've said, you can change.
Now, for me, retirement is not even a word in my vocabulary, because I'm very blessed and I absolutely love what I do. And for the past 7 years, I have been doing the emotion code and working with clients full time. So, and I'm evolving and I'm always expanding and creating, and I'm just in the new, you know, in the process of creating a new pilot program. So, you know, if we open ourselves to doing things that we really enjoy, we can, you know, there's a lot of people that are saying, oh yeah, but you'll never make money out of this and you can't do that. But you know what? There's some amazing, talented women and men who've got so much in them, so much knowledge, if they only thought about it, because we've, you know, we've been trained, 65, well, no, 67 at the moment, isn't it, for us? You go and retire and, you know, you go and play golf and within a year they kick the bucket. But when you decide, okay, what is it that I really enjoy? What is it that I want to do? Oh, I might try this or I might try that. You know, retirement, what is that? Yeah. We as humans need to be active. We need to have our brain functioning so that, you know, we live. Doesn't matter on the number.
No, exactly. And I think that's the thing, finding your purpose and finding what brings you joy is so important. And, you know, if you can't do that in this stage of life, when can you do it? Because, but again, it's overcoming all those preconceived ideas or what we've learned or that's been ingrained in us all through our life. So we need to overcome that. Now, I want to just move on to you actually in 2020 became a clinical hypnotherapist.
Yes.
So how does that work? Is that just one-on-one or is that
hypnotherapy?
Yeah.
Yes. No, it's definitely a one-on-one thing. It's not something that I would do in a group.
No.
Hypnotherapy was introduced to me about 2 years ago, but I just went, and again, it's perception and it's about my own insecurity. And I went, oh gosh, no, I can't do hypnotherapy. Oh no. But then I went and did a couple of courses and I'm going, what was I so scared of? This is so simple. All it is a very deep meditation. That's as simple as you can get. Once you get someone into a deep meditation, then you do an affirmation, a positive affirmation to release whatever's going on. And then you just gently bring them out. And it's as simple as that. So hypnotherapy just opened up another perspective for me. And also I've actually didn't realize that I've been doing it with some of my clients already. Now that I've, you know, got the training, I can go, okay, well, I know how that works and I know the process and I can just, you know, work it through. I don't use it very much, to be honest, because with the hypnotherapy, with the emotion code, you know, people come and see me to get something released physically out of their physical body, and it works brilliantly. So unless they're coming to me specifically for hypnotherapy, I mainly work with the emotion code. So it's an added bonus.
Yeah.
So I have, and I've got clients and they're coming to see me for it, but it's not my main focus.
Well, Kuve, you've certainly got a very interesting business and a very interesting ideas on healing and a holistic approach to health. You were also mentioning to me before we came on air about a new program that you're developing or about to introduce, and not necessarily for our age group, but tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, it could be for the kids that we all have.
Exactly.
Yes. Well, the pilot is called Calm Conception. I'm currently in the process of looking for 5 couples that I can run this pilot with. It's a 90-day program, and it's assisting couples who, over the last couple of years, they've not been able to conceive. Obviously, you know, they can't have any major physical issues. Well, but then again, you never know. Who are prepared, or who want to look at an alternative, who not necessarily want to go and seek fertility clinics and go down that path. Because I've spoken to quite a lot of women who are, you know, just by talking to them that I'm putting a new program together and all of that, and they're all saying to me, oh my God, all those drugs that I had pumped into my body was terrible. And you don't even think of it. You know, unless you start talking to, and there are so many women who have had problems falling pregnant, getting pregnant. And when you dissect it, it's always a result of some sort of a blockage within your body. And I want to work with both couples because, you know, yes, they might all be nothing might be wrong with them at all. They're physically healthy. Everything's fine. But if there is a blockage in the subconscious mind, or if something happened to them when they were a child, then they go, oh my God, I'm not doing this, which is what I said. When I saw biology, I went, oh my God, what did they do to me? So then they're beginning to understand that, oh my God, I'm okay. It's not me. It's the fact that there is an emotional blockage within my body that is stopping me. And a lot of the cases, that's the reasons why couples are not falling pregnant, and they're getting really hyper stressed. They're getting, oh my God, it's, you know, what's wrong with me? And everyone asking them, so are you pregnant yet? Are you pregnant yet? That adds to the stress of it all. So I'm really excited. So I'm looking for 5 couples to work this 90-day program with to introduce it to the world.
Yeah. Now that's good, because I know that IVF and so forth can be a very stressful time for couples. And also if people know that they're trying and they're, as you said, it's always, oh, did it work this time? Or is it okay? When are you pregnant? And that just adds to the trauma and the stress that you've already got.
And IVF is not guaranteed either.
No.
You cannot guarantee that you're going to get pregnant.
No.
You know, I've had a lady that tried for 5 years, and I'm going, oh my God. You know, and it's terrible on the female body.
It would take its toll, I'm sure. So hopefully, we'll put that in the show notes as well, because there might be people who have, as you say, children who might be in that demographic who may be interested. But before we go today, I do want to ask you the question I always ask my guests, and that is, what does being a woman living well mean to you?
It means being able to walk every day, being able to go to the gym, being able to, you know, let go of the stuff that was put upon us from whether it's our parents or our grandparents. I know that I've really changed as well mentally. Things don't bother me as well. And I question things a lot more as well. I go, well, is that your opinion or is that the truth? You know? And because we find when we get to a certain maturity, we go, do I really need to be bothered with that? Do I really need to be bombarded with this? How is it affecting me? And when we have a, emotional health as well, then our bodies can just function at a much better form.
Yeah. Yes.
And we can live and be part of society. And, there's so much knowledge within us when we get to these great years where people don't utilize enough, I feel. And sharing like your program is amazing because you have some amazing ladies who are sharing and helping others who do now open their mind, open their consciousness where they can live in a much healthier environment.
And that's what I'm trying to do in encouraging women to come on and tell their story or give us new ways to, new information on what's available to help us all live well, because it's not just about the physical body, it's about the whole holistic. It's as I've said before, the physical, the mental, the spiritual. It all goes into what we do to be well, the lifestyle we're living. And, making sure that we're staying connected with people, making sure that we are eating and moving, which we know, but it's that richness of life that if you do open your mind and try new things and accept opportunities when they come along, that's going to add to the tapestry and the richness of our life, isn't it?
Absolutely. And everything we all do is a little bit more of a piece of the puzzle, of the tapestry, as you say, of our life.
Well, it's been lovely chatting with you today, Kuve. So thank you so much for joining me.
Well, thank you for inviting me. It's an absolute pleasure and an honor to even, speak about. Look, I'm just passionate about what I do. And
that's the key, isn't it? If you're passionate about what you do, it's not work, is it? And it doesn't even have to be a job. It could be just being passionate about life or whatever you're doing in life. And that's the key. And I think that you've certainly shown that passion today. And for the listeners, I'll be putting all your links into the show notes because, as we said, you do online consultations, so it doesn't matter where you are in the world, we can still connect with you. So I'll put all that in the show notes. And for the listeners, I hope that you've enjoyed our conversation today. I've learned a few new things. So if you've enjoyed it, don't forget to leave me a like or a comment and subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a conversation. And in the meantime, remember to live well and enjoy life. Bye for now.